Welcome or welcome back to Shaping Your World with Sha. I'm Sha, and on this channel, I talk about lifestyle-related topics that generally relate to the woman over 40, 50, and beyond, but usually I'm talking about fragrance, which we all can enjoy. So today I'm coming to you with my review of Cirque du Soleil's L'Eau de Parfum. I have a sample size from Scentbird. This video is not sponsored, nor are there any affiliate links, but I just wanted to let you know my thoughts on the fragrance because like everyone else, I was really curious when this came out. So if you're not familiar, Cirque du Soleil is actually a circus, right? And they perform their shows, I think worldwide, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely, I know that they perform throughout the US. I've seen a number of their shows. Most of the shows that I've seen have been in Las Vegas. Again, you know, when this fragrance dropped, initially myself and a lot of other people were like, is this a joke? You know, they came out with a fragrance, like they're a circus, like what circus? A little strange. And so I didn't know what to make of it, and I definitely wanted to get my nose on it. So I said, you know what, when I saw that Scentbird was offering this, I jumped on it because they do introduce new fragrances every month. They add new fragrances to their repertoire. So I ordered this, I've been playing with it, and initially, I have to say, I did not like it. And I don't know if that's because sometimes when you get fragrances in the mail, they might not perform that well if you try to spray them immediately after opening. Sometimes you have to let things sit. So I will say that over time, I have grown to really enjoy this fragrance. I really like it. The top notes are bergamot, cotton candy, red apple. In the mid, it's got iris petals, fresh freesia, buttery popcorn accord. And in the base, it's got vanilla bean, sandalwood, and caramelized amber. So those notes, I was like, oh, I was curious to see how were they going to combine that buttery popcorn accord with the red apple, you know, the fruitiness of the red apple, the warmth, gourmand of the vanilla bean, you know, and the flowers, like the iris petals and the freesia. I was very, very hesitant. I was like, that might not smell so good. I didn't think it was going to smell that good. And like I said, when I first took it out of the package, it didn't smell that good to me. And I was like, But again, I like to play with things. I like to let things sit, especially something like, you know, we know anybody that's a gourmand lover knows that vanilla always gets better over time. And I find the same tends to happen with sandalwood and amber. You kind of like, you know, you let them sit and they will get better. I personally love cotton candy and red apple, and of course, buttery popcorn accord. That's right up my alley. And I will say, with that in mind, this fragrance reminds me of a cross between one of my favorites, Caramel Pop, and another one of my well-liked fragrances, which is Dear Polly. Caramel Pop is by Vivamore. Dear Polly is by Wilhelm Parfumeries. And I will link videos below where I talk about both of these fragrances. But Caramel Pop in particular is one of my favorite fragrances. It made my top 5 favorites of 2024. Dear Polly, I don't think I talk about her as much on my channel. I like her a lot. She's got, I'll give you the notes for Dear Polly. Her top notes are bergamot and apple. In the mid, she's got Ceylon black tea. And in the base, she's got oak moss, musk, and black amber. I really like her, but I have to be in the mood for her. She's really good. She's long lasting. I would say, as far as projection is concerned, she sits in a nice space where she doesn't go too far, but she's not too skin set. She's kind of in between. So she's, you know, she's gonna project in your immediate vicinity. She's not necessarily gonna announce your arrival in the room. And as far as sillage is concerned, I think the main notes that last are the tea and the apple. They come together really nicely. I really like her a lot. but I don't wear her that often. By contrast, Caramel Pop, I'll give you her notes. She's got in the top, she's got Italian bergamot, caramelized popcorn accord. In the mid, she's got roasted chestnuts, caramel, and orchid. And in the base, she's got Madagascan vanilla, bourbon absolute, Laotian benzoin, and Virginian cedarwood. And by contrast to Dear Polly, she projects. She's gonna announce your arrival, and long after you leave, she's gonna still be lingering in the air. So she's definitely an in-your-face fragrance. That I love her. I love that popcorn, that caramel popcorn accord. And I think that if now that I have the Cirque du Soleil, it has opened my eyes to wearing these together. I would wear these together. I would probably spray the caramel pop all over and then top her off with Dear Polly in the post points. I think that would be nice. And with that said, that's what I enjoy about the Cirque du Soleil. She comes together nicely. I mean, and that cotton candy also gives her a nice fluffiness, gives her reminiscent vibe of the Kayali Boujee Marshmallow. If you like that, that's the cotton candy vibe that the Cirque du Soleil fragrance provides. But she also is very floral forward. So the iris petals and the fresh freesia, they stand their ground. You know, they come through, they say, I'm here too. They say, don't leave me out. They give this fragrance the essence that it's not strictly gourmand. It's a well balanced between being very gourmand and being very floral forward. So if you're someone who is strictly a gourmand lover and not so much a floral lover, you're probably not gonna like her so much, because she's very balanced when it comes to the gourmands and the florals. And you have to like both. You can't like one or the other. Same thing if you're a big floral lover but not so much a gourmand, this is not going to be the fragrance for you, because she's very forward with both the gourmand and the floral essences. For that reason, I feel like she's very unique, right? I don't know of any fragrances like her. Again, I haven't smelled every single fragrance that's out there, so, you know, obviously keep that in mind. But I would say of all the different fragrances that I have smelled to date, I've never smelled anything like her. And for that, she gets an A for being unique. So she comes in two sizes. She comes in a 10 ml for $35, which is their sample size. And then she comes in 100 ml for $195. Because of the fact that I already own Caramel Pop and Dear Polly, and because I can just go ahead and mix them together, I don't find the need to purchase a full size. Also because of the fact that she's very floral forward, that also takes her off of my list, because I'm not the biggest floral forward person. I'm a gourmand lover. Love, love, love gourmand. I don't mind florals, but I need them to be done in a certain way. And although I do appreciate the fact that this is a uniquely done fragrance in the way that it has very well blended the florals and the gourmand, it's not necessarily something that I personally would want a full body of. But that said, I do think she's a beautiful fragrance. As far as projection is concerned, she sits very close to the skin. In my opinion, she does not project that well. She's got decent lasting power. She's not gonna last you an entire day. She's not gonna do a 12-hour shift. I think she probably gives about 5 or 6 hours. I do really like her dry down. In my opinion, she gets better and better. A lot of the buttery popcorn accord kind of drifts away, and she leaves you with a nice musky floral. I do like the musky floral nature of her, but again, because she doesn't last that long, by the time she gets into that musky floral, she's at the end of her, she's on her last leg, right? I get that on the skin for a very short time, maybe an hour or two, and I really enjoy that about her. It's like I enjoy her instance. I enjoy her opening with that that red apple and that cotton candy. I love that. I love how she opens up. Not the biggest fan of the mid, but I do like her dry down. But again, by the time she starts drying down, she's also on my skin fading away. So that's another reason why I would not buy a full bottle. But I will continue to enjoy playing with the sample that I have. Again, the Scentbird samples are 0.27 ounces. They're meant to be a 30-day supply. I don't wear any fragrance 30 days at a time. There's not any one fragrance in my entire repertoire that I'm gonna wear every single day. So she will last me for a while. You know, I'll reach for her, you know, when I'm in the mood. But definitely not full body worthy for my collection. She doesn't fit in with my collection, but she is a beautiful fragrance. She does get an A for being unique. I love that about her, because nowadays, you know, a lot of things we smell, they're not that unique. A lot of times, you know, you can say, oh yeah, this reminds me of this, or this reminds me of that. And although she does remind me of other things, she doesn't remind me of any one thing. She reminds me of two things, and these two things being extremely different fragrances. And so for that reason, I like her. You know, she took two fragrances that I really enjoy. She brought them together really nicely, and then she stuck in some florals to give them another aspect, right? And I don't really know where the floral aspect fits into the whole circus vibe, but the other notes, they lend themselves really well to the circus vibe. That cotton candy, that red apple is giving you is reminiscent of a candied apple, which when I was growing up, I used to love candied apples. And I know my dentist loved me loving candied apples, because I had the cavities all throughout my younger years to really go along with my love for these candied apples. But I don't eat them anymore. But you know, if you know that the enjoyment that comes from a candied apple, she embodies that. And that cotton candy, another carnival treat that I really love, cotton candy. You know, she's got that, and I love, I mean, you know, this caramel pop is one of my all-time favorite fragrances. I love a nice buttery caramel accord. So she wins my heart for these reasons. I love that about her. But the iris petals and the freesia, they give her a real powdery feel. Let me not leave that out. I'm not the biggest fan of powdery fragrances. There are some exceptions in my collection that I really enjoy, but overall, I'm not the biggest fan of powdery fragrances. So again, keep that in mind. She's very powdery, and you know, she's nice for the right person. I would say she's not a safe blind buy. Get your nose on her. Maybe Twisted Lily. I haven't checked. I'll try to, when I'm editing, I'll try to remember to check. I'll try to put it on the screen whether or not Twisted Lily has samples, because Twisted Lily is a good website to get fragrance samples from. I recommend getting your nose on it if these notes are something that vibes with your scent profile. And with that said, until next time, I pray that you will stay blessed. I hope that 2025 brings you joy, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.